Hi everybody, welcome back. We're going to be talking about transportation now. I'm going to try to do these quickly because I know I've been lollygagging through a lot of them. So let's get right to it. Alright, so transportation, that's typically around 17-20% of what people are paying in their, you know, average expenditures. Alright, and they typically fall into these percentages. That 17 can be broken up into 1% public transportation, 5% other, about 5% fuel, and another about 5% vehicle purchase and payment. All right. And so it's good to know what transportation options are in your community so that you can decide what's best for your economic future. All right. So first, let's talk about public transportation. All right, some examples: taxi, subway, bus. A lot of you are already taking the train or the bus, um, so you have some experience with that. Now, pros of public transportation: they're typically cost effective, typically pretty cheap, and typically does not require extra cost of ownership. You don't have to pay for maintenance, repairs, damages. None of that's out of you. You pay your fare and you take your ride. That's it. Cons: availability depends on location. You can't just go anywhere you want. You go to the places that the subway or bus allows you to, and it may not be as convenient and require more travel time. Because obviously, if you're trying to get from your house to somewhere else, and you have to walk to the bus station and then take that bus trip, which will have many stops that you wouldn't have otherwise made if you were just driving yourself. And then, even then, the stop you get off, you'll have to walk to your next location. It'll take more time. But, those are a trade off. All right. Now, what if we're purchasing an automobile? All right. We can get them from a dealership where you can buy new or used vehicles that has convenient hours, or you can buy it from a private source. Some people will sell their cars directly. They'll give you the the ownership of the vehicle, and sometimes this can be cheaper than going through a dealership. But then you also don't have any protections if it turns out you get scammed because your vehicle stinks. Do your research. All right, before working with sales personnel, evaluate your needs and wants. Identify what vehicle you want, what features you want in your vehicle, and research about how much money you're going to need to budget for this purchase. All right, and your advanced research will make it way more likely that you end up happy with what you put out there or what you get. All right, so what are some typical automobile ownership expenses? All right, automobile payment, especially if you're using credit for your car, fuel, maintenance and repairs, license and registration, which is a yearly fee that we have to go through, insurance, and parking, depending on where you're going. All right. Now, fuel costs, this will depend on the vehicle performance that you have, how much you drive, and what kind of locations you're driving to. All right. If you're just doing, driving around the town, your miles per gallon probably won't be, if you're driving through a city, your miles per gallon won't be very great because you're stopping and starting a lot. And even if you're not going a very long distance, you'll still be spending a lot of time just in the car waiting. Whereas if you're just doing highway driving, your miles per gallon actually be much higher. But obviously, if you're driving a long distance, you'll be purchasing more fuel. Normal wear and tear for that maintenance and repairs, it really depends on the car you have and how much you expect to drive. Keep in mind that some models, especially foreign import models, are much more expensive to maintain and repair. So you're much better off getting something locally built. Um, yeah, because if you're getting like a Fiat or what is it, a BMW, that might be a struggle. And yeah, and hopefully your place of employment provides parking. Uh, but depending on where you're working, you might need to pay for street parking or local garage costs. So something to look out for. All right, so make sure that after considering all of these 6 things, you're able to afford the ownership. All right, so let's do an example. All right, we're going to purchase a 2013 Honda Accord. This is the monthly payment. All right, but because of that, this will end up being her 5-year average out of pocket if she drives about 15,000 miles. All right, so she has to consider all of these expenses. All right, the purchase price of the vehicle will be 21 548. This was written a while ago, so just assume it's a 2019 or 2020 Honda Accord now. All right. She has her down payment of 10%. She has her interest rate of 2.84% with a monthly payment of $347. After the 5 years, she'll pay in total the 22,980, which pretty decent. Not too much. Not a lot of interest tacked on. It's about a $2,000 of interest. Not terrible, honestly. Not terrible. Actually, yeah, a little less. It's more like 1,800. But that's just the vehicle. You also have to consider, all right, well, if we're driving 15,000 miles, you can look up the miles per gallon you'll get on the car and estimate, well, okay, if I'm driving 15,000 miles and I get such and such miles per gallon, how many gallons I'll need to buy, and just go by the average price of fuel at that particular time. You can estimate about how much you're going to be spending in fuel. You can do the same for insurance. Just look at your insurance premiums for the month and multiply that by 12 and then multiply that by that 5 years. Boom, you've got how much you can do for this. And it turns out, well, after 5 years, it's gonna add up. It's gonna add up. So you got to make sure that you can afford that. All right, let's go quickly. I'm sorry. All right. You also got to consider depreciation. All right. The value of your vehicle is halves essentially the moment you step in it and give it its first ride. All right, and it's one of the biggest costs of owning the vehicle. So make sure that you don't owe more than you own if credit is used, and your statement of financial position should record the market value of the vehicle that day. All right, not the market value of your vehicle when you purchase it, because that's just inaccurate. You couldn't liquidate your assets. You couldn't, if you needed to sell that car, you couldn't liquidate it for that purchase price. No, you'd have to sell it for much less. So you've got to, make sure that you are aware of that. Okay, features. What features would you look for in an automobile? Cost, size, usage, gas mileage, safety ratings, reliability, environmental impact, the rate of depreciation, because some cars hold their value a little bit better than others, and some do not, and upgraded features like satellite radio and other things like that. So these are just a few of the things that you can consider. When you're writing your notes, pick the ones that are most important to you. For me, cost is really important. Usage is really important. I don't really care too much about size. Gas mileage, super important because I drive a lot. Safety ratings, reliability, and yeah, I mean, I obviously care about maintaining the value and the environmental. These are all pretty important things to you, but you have a certain budget, and to get all 9 of these might be expensive. So you need to know where you can cut out some things. All right, using credit. All right, so your credit history will determine if a loan will be granted and what the terms will be, because you can get a loan, but you might get a much worse interest rate. And you can get these from automobile dealerships and banks and credit unions. All right, loan rates vary significantly between lenders, like a lot. So please make sure that you're shopping around before negotiating, because you want that lowest rate you can possibly get, right? You do not want to be paying tens of thousands of dollars in interest because you just decided to get the first loan that someone decided to give you. Whew. All right. Down payment. Why is that super important? Oh, and also, guys, better your credit history, the better loan you're gonna get. I know I said it, but make sure that you're, paying back your loans and that you're always paying your credit card bill. Just always. All right, down payment. Amount required, if any, varies, but your down payment can it's a decent portion of the vehicle you purchase. It really just depends on the lender, but about 10% is not a bad down payment. Obviously, the more you put down, the less you have to pay in interest. So put as much down as you can afford. Obviously, don't zero yourself out, but this also helps determine whether the dealership is going to give you a nice rate on your vehicle. So just put on a down payment, and you'll see a lot of dealerships during holiday seasons and everything will tell you like a special offer. You only have to put this much down and you'll get this APR. Look for that to understand what it is that you are buying and what commitment you're making with that vehicle. All right. Anyway, if you're selling a vehicle, research the vehicle's worth in advance using things like Kelley Blue Book, KBB.com. And if you're going to trade in your vehicle to a dealer, when you're purchasing yours, you can trade in your old one for a better deal. Negotiate the trade-in value separately from the price of whatever it is that you are purchasing in its stead. All right, leasing. All right, so leasing is when you rent a product while the ownership remains with the lease grantor. All right, and it works like this. You pay a specific amount of money, usually monthly, for some specific amount of time, usually about 3 years. So that would be 36 months. And then once your lease expires, the vehicle is returned to the lease grantor. And if you read the contract closely, you can look for hidden costs. All right, so benefit to this. This allows you to essentially constantly have a newer vehicle that you are going to be driving. I personally don't prefer leasing, but some people swear by it. And it would be cheaper than purchasing and owning that car for the 3 years. It really depends on where you're leasing from, because some of them, their contracts are a little dicey. You got to make sure that if you are leasing, that you know exactly what you are required to pay, and that you're looking for any penalties that are associated with using the car because there might be additional charges if you exceed the allotted number of miles that you're allowed to drive with the lease. And obviously damages that are done to the lease you have to pay for. Again, if you want to just have a new car every 3 years, this will end up being cheaper than just buying and selling a car every 3 years. And if you love the car you lease, many dealers will allow you to just purchase outright the car that you leased for an additional fee, an additional cost, which will likely end up being a little bit more than you would have paid if you just bought the vehicle outright. But, you had the safety of being able to just give it back rather than just purchasing it there. But anyway, yeah, so that's leasing. And I think with that, we're good on transportation. We'll have one more slide on one more set of slides on Monday for food. But there you go. Please do not forget to do the attendance, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.